Good morning. I am Ben Axelrod stepping in for Stephanie Haney on our 3 News Now early update, keeping you updated on all the things in Northeast Ohio. And we start with breaking news out of the Capitol. The Supreme Court ruled on Monday that a landmark civil rights law protects LGBT people from discrimination in employment, a resounding victory for LGBT rights from a conservative court. The court decided by a 6-3 vote that a key provision of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, known as Title VII, that bars job discrimination because of sex, among other reasons, encompasses bias against LGBT workers. Justices Sam Alito, Brett Kavanaugh, and Clarence Thomas dissented. Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch said an employer who fires an individual for being homosexual or transgender fires that person for traits or actions it would not have questioned in members of a different sex. Sex plays a necessary and undisguisable role in the decision, exactly what Title VII forbids. The outcome is expected to have a big impact for the estimated 8.1 million LGBT workers across the country because most states don't protect them from workplace discrimination. An estimated 11.3 LGBT people live in the U.S., according to the Williams Institute at UCLA Law School. The cases were the court's first on LGBT rights since Justice Anthony Kennedy's retirement, and he was replaced by Brett Kavanaugh. Kennedy was a voice for gay rights and the author of the landmark ruling in 2015 that made same-sex marriage legal throughout the United States. Kavanaugh generally is regarded as more conservative. Moving on, our next story locally, a teen girl died after an apparent hammock accident in Cleveland Heights. It was around 7:45 p.m. Authorities responded to a call of a girl trapped underneath some bricks on Berkshire Road. Upon their arrival, first responders learned that the 2 girls, aged 13 and 14, were in a hammock that was tied to a tree in a brick pillar. The city's director of communications tells 3 News the brick pillar collapsed and fell on the girls. Both were taken to the hospital, but later died from their injuries. No additional information was immediately available, and the incident remains under investigation. In Columbus, we learned that Ohio State football players were required to sign a coronavirus waiver after they returned for workouts at the university last Monday. According to the Columbus Dispatch, the waiver, titled the Buckeye Pledge, highlights health risks involved with the workouts and calls for the athletes to follow strict school-implemented safety measures. The Buckeye Pledge also proceeds to warn players that despite the measures the school has taken, it can never fully shield itself from the potential spread and risks of COVID-19. Every player returning to campus was also required to undergo coronavirus testing, although unlike some schools, Ohio State is not providing the results of their tests to the public. Any player who had not turned 18 was required to have the waiver signed by a parent or a legal guardian. According to the Dispatch, any player who doesn't adhere to the guidelines set forth to the pledge could be prohibited from participating in athletic activities or using on-campus facilities, although it would not affect that player's scholarship status. After Ohio State football players returned to campus last week for workouts, the Ohio State men's and women's basketball teams are expected to return this week. Moving on, our next story, the Red Cross is now testing all blood donations for COVID-19 antibodies. As the American Red Cross makes an urgent call for blood donations to help prevent a summer shortage, the organization is now also testing all donors for COVID-19 antibodies. The testing begins today on June 15th and will continue for a limited time. Red Cross officials said in a statement, antibody testing will indicate if the donor's immune system has produced antibodies to the coronavirus, regardless of whether they develop symptoms. Donations will be tested using samples pulled at the time of donation and sent to a testing laboratory, where they will also undergo routine infectious disease testing. A positive antibody test result does not confirm infection or immunity. The results will be ready within 7 to 10 days. If that isn't enough, there is extra incentive to donate at this time. All donors who give blood between now and June 30th will receive a $5 Amazon gift card via email. If you're ready to donate blood, appointments can be made by downloading the free blood donor app, visiting redcrossblood.org, or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS. That's 1-800-733-2767. With that, let's get to our updated COVID-19 numbers within the state of Ohio. Confirmed cases up to 41,148 on Sunday, June 14th. Yesterday, that's 300 new cases, a decrease of 124 from Saturday. As far as confirmed and probable deaths, we now have 2,557. That marks 3 new deaths going from Saturday to Sunday. Hospitalizations, we now have 6,895. This marks 31 new hospitalizations from the day prior. Number of patients currently in the hospital, that number's at 511. That's actually a decrease of five from the previous day. And number of ICU admissions, we now have 1,762. That marks 8 new ICU admissions from the day prior. Also today here locally in Cleveland, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has reopened. Cleveland's iconic Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is reopening to the public for the first time in months today on June 15th. Their restart comes with the following list of safety precautions amid the coronavirus pandemic. Staff and guests are required to wear masks indoors, limited capacity with timed ticketing. Fans are to maintain a safe social distance, at least 2 Stratocasters apart. Temperature checks prior to entry. Hand sanitizing stations have been placed throughout the museum. Credit card and mobile payment only with plexiglass shields at checkout. A clean committed, including a clean of the facility has been committed, including daily continuous cleaning, and advanced online ticket purchases can be made at rockhall.com. Director of Education at the Rock Hall, Mandy Smith, told 3 News, "We have created a one-way path through the museum so you can be socially distanced and be safe. We have a new team of student nurses who will be here taking your temperature and asking you a few questions when you come in." The Rock Hall also has new hours of operation for you to be aware of. It will be open daily from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. It will have early access available at 10 a.m. for teachers on Monday, vulnerable fans on Tuesdays, Rock Hall members on Saturdays, and healthcare workers on Sunday. Live music at the Plaza resumes in July on Thursday and Saturday evenings from 5 to 7 p.m. The Play It Loud Instruments of Rock and Roll exhibit has also been extended through December of 2020. Make sure to get your tickets ahead of time and enjoy the fun. Thank you so much for joining us on our 3 News update today. We will be back with you guys at 2 p.m. to give you the brand new COVID-19 numbers here in the state of Ohio. Thanks, guys.